Hey, what's up? It's Frank Williams Jr. We're live at Music Town, Detroit. It's Tuesday. That means it's time for the Homegrown Happy Hour. And my guest for the second time around,
Woohoo!
Kari Lynch, what's up?
Yay, we're so happy to be back.
Almost a year to the day.
I know,
Almost.
I know,
maybe
almost.
A month, maybe a month and some change off.
Maybe just like weeks even, within weeks, I think. Because I think the last time we were here was like the second week in June.
It might be like
and
our
that's
thing.
coming right up.
Because you like hit me up last time just
Yeah.
out of the blue. Like, hey, can I be on the show? Sure. And then this time, hey, can I be on the show? Sure.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first, last time you were on the show, you were by yourself.
Yes.
This time you brought a friend.
Am I lonesome?
Oh, yes,
We got
friendship.
friendship. Yeah, we got
He
our
says
band.
that was like, just
From the bottom of my heart, I meant it. We did just drive here for
I'm
a few
just
hours.
kidding.
That's why.
So you came from Nashville to do this.
Yeah, well, we've actually been in Michigan for a couple weeks because we've been doing a bunch of like radio up here and stuff to promote the new album and
Awesome.
everything. But we head back to Nashville tomorrow.
Awesome. And his name's Travis.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is Travis. He plays lead. He's playing acoustic today, but he plays lead in the band.
And how long have you guys been together?
Trav joined the band in the summer of 2017-ish.
Yeah.
So.
How long has the Kari Lynch Band been a thing?
Oh my gosh, Kari Lynch Band started playing shows and being a thing way back in like 2009, 2010. So we've been doing it for a while.
How many original members are there still?
There's not from like the very first beginnings. None of those members are here, but like Matt and Brian have been here for like 5 years. Justin's been for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
So Trav is actually the newest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trav is like the newest guy. We picked him up on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's very nice.
He
He was
was,
hitchhiking. Hey, do you play guitar? Yeah.
he was
yeah.
carrying a guitar on his back, and we were like, hey, he looks
That's what
cool.
you do in Nashville.
Yeah, man.
100%.
So you got the new album coming. It's
Yes.
out. Is it coming out? It's out.
It's out. The
It's
new
out.
album is out. It just came out on Friday, May 17th.
Oh, congratulations.
So brand new. Thank you so much.
How long did it take you to get from start to finish? How long did it take you?
Whew. We recorded the album in February in 6 days. We
Wow.
tracked the album, did the vocals, background vocals, overdubs, lead parts. I mean, everything in 6 days.
Did you
It was
sleep?
crazy. No, not at all. We did not. I mean, truly. It was so fun. We did it at Ocean Way Recording Studios in Nashville, and it was a blast. We had so much fun making this record. But yeah, the past several months, we've just been going through and making sure everything sounds the way we want it to sound. And I think we're all just like settling into the idea that it's actually out in the world because it's
Sure.
just been ours. You know, for the last year, we've been working on these songs and figuring out which songs we want to put on the album and then recording the thing and doing it. And these songs have been so close to us, and we've just been listening with an ear that's like very technical. So the fact that it's out now to the world and people are hearing it and enjoying it and sending us messages about it and stuff is just so cool. Like, it almost doesn't seem real that it's out yet.
Well, that's the first song I want to hear. But before you play it,
Yeah.
what made it? What was so special about it to you guys? Because you take all the care with all the songs that you do.
Yeah.
What made this song the single?
Oh man, well, this song became the single, I think, because when we were rehearsing songs for the album to figure out what songs we wanted to put on it, this was the one where, like, after we played through it just to get a feel for it, that we all looked around and really realized, like, this is the sound of the next album.
Sure.
And actually, I wrote this song with two of my friends down in Nashville, and when we finished writing it, I remember looking at them and going, guys, I'm pretty sure we just wrote the first single for the next record, and that was in 2017. That was back before we were even talking about being able to record a record. So. Yeah, I think it was this one, like, hands down. We kind of knew this was going to be the first song.
That's
to
a
come
cool
out.
feeling. I know that
Absolutely.
feeling with different things. That's a
Yes.
really cool feeling.
When it
To
just
know it
feels
just
right.
clicks.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, let's check it
Yeah.
out. This is Highway Honey.
This is Highway Honey.
Kari Lynch Band.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Just a few members. Travis, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Ready?
Let's do it. Most folks know me by the way I lead, and I know them as good as they know me. I'm always turning a key while somebody's asleep. I don't mean no harm, I just got somewhere to be. I'm a highway honey, I don't need nobody. Another town, another place, and an old suitcase, chasing dreams, not money. I'm a highway honey, and I leave the engine running, buzzing like a queen bee, burning gasoline.
I can see why that was a single.
Thanks.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
So you are from the Grand Rapids area. I think you said Claire, right?
Yep.
But you reside now in Nashville.
Yeah, down in Nashville now, but originally from Michigan. We formed the band actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Way
And
back when.
how long have you been in Nashville?
Officially since 2015, I've been living there. And then for about 3 years before that, I was kind of living part-time there and part-time in Michigan. So I'd come up to Michigan to play shows and then go back down there to write songs and, network and make connections and meet people and just kind of try to find friends in Nashville and kind of establish something there and then go back up to Michigan, play a bunch of shows, come back down. Because I've played music full-time now for about 9-ish years. And so, that's been my full-time gig. So heading out to play shows is how I pay the bills.
Right.
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy for a while. A lot of time on the road. We still spend a lot of time on the road, but even back then it was like 9 months out of the year I'd be on the road.
When you're in Nashville now, where are some of the places you play at?
At Nashville now, I do a lot of writers rounds, so we'll do like the Commodore and places like that for writers rounds, but we play the local. We just played a show there in November. It was a freaking blast. It was so much fun. And so we're actually trying to do another show there this fall to kind of do a Nashville album release because we're so busy touring this summer that we don't really have any Nashville band dates down there for the summer. So because we want to kind of play the album for people up there and all of our friends there, we're looking to do I think we're going to book a fall show as our kind of like Nashville album release show.
So the thing that when I was there not too long ago is Broadway was the grind.
Oh, man.
Up and comers. Now, as someone who's established a little bit and been there for a minute, how often do you play?
I actually have never played down on Broadway.
Really?
Yeah, it's not really our thing. I think mainly because we've always chased like playing our music and playing original music. So it's not like we won't play covers, and we do from time to time. There's lots of covers we like, and it's just fun to play them at certain shows and stuff. But Broadway is more just cover music.
Right,
and so,
you're getting playing for tips and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like while it's really fun and playing those songs is really fun, it's not really the direction we want to go. Because, if we're down there and we're Kari Lynch Band down there, we want people to know us as Kari Lynch Band, and these are our songs.
Right.
So, and down there, they're just playing cover songs. And so it hasn't really been an avenue we've pursued for that reason.
How do you go about meeting the songwriters and like linking up with people? Because they're all over the place.
Oh, man,
they have the songwriter circles or whatever. You can go to a bar and have like them all on a stage playing music.
Totally, yeah.
But,
you meet a lot of songwriters at when you go play writers rounds. People that are playing in the round before you or after you might hear someone's song and think like, oh, I really like that song. I'm like, then you exchange info and you maybe get together to write. Most of the writers that I write with, I've met through other writers that I write with, and like my friend Brian, we write together a lot. We wrote several songs on the album, and we might be writing, and then he might go, you would be really good writing with this other person that I write with a lot. Like, I just think you guys would connect. So songwriters, I think, are always doing that. We're always kind of like going, hey, you'd be great. We should do a 3-way write, with this other person that I write with often. And that's kind of how it's all just through other people.
Right, that's cool.
That's how we've met a lot of songwriters.
It's like one big happy family.
Totally.
And everyone's cool and everyone wants to help, and it's not like someone's out there just for themselves. They all know what it's like and they all want to help one another. That's really cool.
Well, and you never know what's going to happen for someone. So like someone who might not have anything going on, and you might write with them and a year later they have a record deal.
Right.
So like, it's just good to take those opportunities, I think, and not just because you might, get something from someone, but just like it's good to kind of put yourself out there and write with different people and write different kinds of songs and meet people. And it's hard, but you got to do it. Like you just gotta put yourself out there. That's like the best advice I always give newcomers to town is like, don't say no.
That's actually going to be
say
my
yes.
next question.
If someone invites you to something, say yes and go. If someone says, hey, come to this hang, like a bunch of songwriters are hanging out, you might be tired, you might not feel like do it, just go do it. Like put yourself out there and just don't say no,
Usually are the nights that you don't want to do it the most.
Is the night, yeah.
It's the night that it's like the most lucrative or that, fruitful, I guess I should say.
Oh, we've never regretted not showing up. We've regretted
not going.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Like we've never regretted showing up. We've only ever regretted that time that we didn't show up. And we've looked back and gone, oh man, I wish we would have went.
Like the 15 times you do go, the one time you don't. And that's true though, it happens.
Yeah, so it's it's just good to do that. If you're gonna be there, it's why not? Why not? It's a city just full of really awesome people and inspiration all over the place. So, put yourself out there. If you're gonna be there, go there and just meet people and do your thing,
Now, are you a little homesick?
I do get a little homesick once in a while. I mean, now that Nashville's been my home, I feel like I get more homesick for Nashville than I do any place because I'm on the road so much.
Fair enough.
So I miss Nashville. Like, I'm very, very, very excited to go home tomorrow and just be in my own room in my own bed and see my friends and stuff. But I think we all get a little bit homesick in different ways.
Yeah.
You know, even when we're on the road, it just kind of depends. We all get, but I do get homesick for Michigan. I would say more in the fall than anything. For some reason, there's something about the fall
Michigan fall, absolutely.
that makes me homesick, and I just want to like go home and like drink coffee with my mom. And, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, the
Put on
reason
a
I asked,
sweater.
right, exactly. And now, Travis, are you from Michigan?
I
know-
actually
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
Okay.
Grand
You-
Rapids.
okay, very cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone in the band are actually originally from Michigan,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Did you? And I may have missed it, but did you meet down there or here?
We met.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we met in Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, we met in
I
Grand
may have
Rapids.
missed that.
So
I
no, that's
apologize,
okay. It's
But
all
the
right.
reason I ask about the homesick is because this next song is called Nashville.
Oh yeah.
And is there anything special behind the meaning of this song besides that? Maybe I thought you were homesick, and that's why you wrote it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a sense of homesickness about it. I think Nashville's a love song, and it's just about kind of meeting that person that can change your perspective a little bit. And, you know, we've spent so much time on the road, and we meet all different kinds of people, and you get homesick, and the road can be kind of tough, as amazing as it is. And I think when you're grinding all the time and you're on the road so much, you kind of forget that there are other things in the world that other people are doing until you kind of meet somebody that shows you that they're, you know, you can
Right.
you can be happy too just being in one place for a minute. And so that's kind of what Nashville is about. And I wrote this one with our bandmate Justin and our friend Andy Ferris, and it was this was a nice one to write. It
Which,
was
by
nice
the
to
way,
get
to
some
your
of
other
this out.
bandmates, because the first time you were on by yourself.
Yeah.
Now you brought Travis.
Yeah, yeah.
Next time you're on, I want everybody.
Let's get them all here. Gosh,
That's
you
my
guys hear
challenge
that?
to your band, the Kari Lynch
guys
Band. I
tuning
want the
in?
band.
We'll fill out this room, man. We'll all come in.
rock
and
it
it'll
out.
be a
That's what
great
we
time.
want. Thank you to Joe and Spencer for showing up. They've been
Absolutely.
talking
Yeah,
for
yeah,
months,
sure.
and they're coming. Happy retirement to Joe. That's why they're here. He finally
Yeah.
he's finally able to come out.
That's
So
awesome.
appreciate you
That's
guys.
so awesome.
Which, by the way, it is free to check out the Homegrown Happy Hour. So if you're not doing anything and you're checking it out on Facebook, next week, come on down. It starts live at noon. But let's check this out. Kari Lynch Band. Even though it's like Kari Lynch and Travis.
Mini
This is
band.
called
2/5.
This is called Nashville. Let's check this out.
All I've ever known of Nashville are the friends who disappeared, chasing after fame and dreams that slowly fade, like pictures by the stages of the greats who started here. And all I've ever known of Broadway are the streets that never sleep, the parties and bright lights turn to cold and lonely nights. No, it ain't like the movies said that it would be. And I've been chasing after dreams where someone's chased them all before, to find out I've already found what they're all looking for. 'Cause the light in your eyes brings me home every time. Well, I've talked to ghosts in Hollywood. Their stories sounded like my own, painting on a smile and searching all the while for a way to make the madness feel like home. And I've been chasing after dreams where someone's chased them all before, to find out I've already found what they're all looking for. 'Cause the light in your eyes brings me home every time. And that's enough for me. All I know about tomorrow is no matter where we'll be, I'll hold your hand in mine as we wander through this life. All I need is to have you here with me.
That's fantastic.
Thanks.
What would you, well, first of all, before, we got 2 songs now that have been played. Where's your music found at online? You have a website? You have Spotify?
We do. Yeah, you can find all our music at KariLynchBand.com, KARILYNCH band.com. The album's up there. You can purchase the album on our website store, and we'll ship it to your front door if you're like us and you like holding something in your hands.
Yep.
And you can get actually all the digital versions of the songs there too. You can order them online. But we're also, of course, up on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play.
Yep.
Anywhere you can, any digital music platform where you might listen to music, you can find us. You can
Now,
find the new record.
You're all over the place, which is awesome. That's one of the
Thanks.
biggest keys to like getting yourself out there is social media now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also one of
Yeah.
the biggest headaches.
Yes.
For you as an artist and as a band, what would you say the biggest challenge nowadays is? Because some people have great social media and some don't.
Yeah.
Some have great social media and don't play really good bars, and some that don't have any social media play awesome places. So what do you think that is?
I mean, social media is a bit of a beast. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're constantly always trying to make sure. I think when we do everything in house. We're an independent band, so we don't have anybody running our social medias and
Right.
booking our tours. Like we do all of it right now. We do all of it. When I say all of it, I mean every single step. So like before the show, we're on social media saying like, "Hey, come out here." And we were doing it today in that
Right.
room. We're like, "Get down to Music Town." I would say just like making the time for it because you want to make sure that you're putting your stuff out there and always kind of letting people know where you are. But sometimes it's hard because you're also trying to get like in artist mode and just be able to
Right.
relax and get ready for the thing. But 5 minutes before you're like putting in the address and putting in like tagging things and saying.
Yeah.
So I think just making sure you stay on top of it because nothing's worse than when you go to someone's social media page to check them out and they haven't posted in
Right.
7 months and the last post isn't about like stuff that they're not even really even doing anymore. So I think just keeping it up to date and making sure that we're always letting people know where they can find stuff and we want people to follow us, right? So we want them to get something on our Instagram and our Twitter and Facebook and stuff that they can't get other places. So we want to give them an inside look at what's going on. So we take a lot of videos when we're on the road and behind the scenes and stuff because if you're going to follow us and take the time to do that and take the time to kind of check us out and see what we're doing, we want to give you something and give you an inside look that you don't get to get just by going to our website or something.
And that's another point too, because it's one thing
Yeah.
just to post something and have,
Yeah.
hey, here's our music.
Absolutely.
It's another thing to be creative
Yeah.
and to get their attention and to try to get them to actually like want to click it and want to watch it.
It's-
Because we're just normal, regular people.
Yeah,
Yeah. We
yeah.
want to show them like our normal lives.
Right,
and our
that's cool to people,
rehearsing
right.
and
Yeah.
of course.
And it's a huge deal too. I mean, from the sense too of like there are venues and whoever we would be doing business with who are going to go look at our social media.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And part of how they will validate us as like worthwhile to work with them is not
Yeah.
even just how do we sound, it's how's our social media following.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like that's a weird it's fun, like we get to do fun stuff, but then there's also times when you're tired and you're like, all right, we got to get happy
Yeah.
for an Instagram
Sure.
story
Right.
video. and,
Exactly.
But
like,
we try to keep
you
it
know?
real though. As
Yeah,
Trav
for
says
real.
that, like we do want to keep it real. It's really important to us to be authentic on social media and let people know that we're not just like we're just people that are doing this thing. And so we do like
Yeah.
I think we don't put all of our personal lives out there. I think there's there's levels to how much everyone's different and might want to share more things, but we definitely we're not just going to only share the great stuff. We're not going to only share the flyer for the show. We're going to share a picture of us standing outside the van after we've been driving for literally 48 hours and say, y'all, we are tired, but we're ready to play the show tonight. Come hang out with us, but we're going to be real. We're tired right now.
Yeah.
See, that's
So
the thing, though,
keeping
too.
it real.
48 hours in a van,
Oh yeah.
all of you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sure that it's not all happiness. I'm sure, and that's not knocking anyone in the band, but I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys got your family fights.
You know
We're
what?
a family, yeah.
Though the cool part is, truly, right? I mean, a lot of times the 5 of us are within like a 5x5 square for hours and hours and hours. We are so lucky because we all love each other
Yeah,
Right.
so
truly.
stinking much. And honestly, it wouldn't work if that weren't true. Like, we just went down and back to Florida for 2 shows over 4 days, like drove and back and whatever. And like, we all ended and we're like, I'm gonna miss you, man.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
see you
gonna miss you
later.
guys. I'll
Like,
see
you
you.
know, and that's.
We do. I mean, we were at a hang last night, and like, there's a lot of musicians all over the place, and we're, and we find ourselves in a corner hanging out with our band.
Just
We do that all the time. Like, I think when we're not playing music, when we aren't seeing each other, we're
Yeah.
like texting each other, or we're like dude, let's get together and like, I know we just saw each other for a show last night, but let's hang out. Like we truly, really a rule I think is that in this band is that we're friends before anything else. And so communication is key. If you got an issue, you bring it forward and we talk about it. But I know it sounds so cliche, but we really are best friends. Like these guys are my best friends and I love hanging out with them. And it's like a bonus that I get to play music with them.
I'm sure it's not
cool.
always like that. You know,
It's not.
bands,
We feel super blessed and grateful.
It's super
Like,
lucky.
we talk about it all the time.
I'm sure they get along with one another, but once you kind of start moving up the ranks, making more money, getting more notoriety and stuff, a lot more stress comes with it. So if you guys are friends first and foremost,
Yeah, man.
kind of
Always.
trumps all a little bit.
And communicate. You got to keep the lines of communication open.
Yeah, especially like when we made this record, there were a lot of moments where we had creative disagreements and we're all trying and working as hard as we can to come out with the best thing. The reason that works and we got through it is because we're friends. So even in moments of, I'll use the word tension, but that even might be an overstatement of like, no, I think we need to do this. I think we need to do this. We could trust that each person on whatever side of the table is pushing for the best thing for the band and ultimately for each other. That's how you get cool stuff.
Absolutely.
When you're able to go through that kind of stuff. So we're just like constantly pumped about how we all work together, and it's great, man.
I guess it's like being able to take constructive criticism and not in the wrong
100%.
way.
Totally.
And not take
that's
it
hard
personally.
to do sometimes,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, not taking it personal,
Yeah.
So you're talking about the hangouts that you just got to chill in the corner at. Right? So, what's, in your opinion, out of all the places you played in the 10 years of the Kari Lynch Band,
Oh my gosh.
what's the coolest venue?
I mean, I will say this. There are different moments that stick out for different reasons. I'm trying to think of like even just like in the last year and a half of like the Nashville show we played was really cool.
That was super fun.
But I would say like I will remember there are several shows I remember for different reasons. There was one show when and this was a while ago, we opened up for the band Perry at Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. And there was something about that show. It was the first stadium I'd ever done. So there was like something really special about having that be a first for a stadium. There were so many people there. But then like we got to play Common Ground and open up for Little Big Town. And like that was the first stage we ever played that had a catwalk way out. So like we remember that one because we got to really interact with the crowd.
That thing. That would have been fun.
Any show, I know that this is probably a lame answer, but for us, shows where we get to really like do our thing and feel like we're just locked in and the stage is great. The crowd is just like energized and we get to connect with the crowd is going to be a memorable show for us. So it could be a show that has 100 people.
Yep.
It could be a show that has 30,000 people at a festival. But if we feel like we're making that connection and we're having a blast with the people out there and they're enjoying what's happening and we're like doing the thing, then it's going to be memorable for us. We just played our album release show last week.
Yeah.
I think that will be super memorable. We had a room full of people who were there to just celebrate with us that this album came out.
Those are
and
always
the energy,
fun.
yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
crowd for us, the memorable shows are the crowd. The crowd for us are what makes shows a memorable one.
Let's talk about before the show. These
Yeah.
stadium shows in particular.
Oh, yeah.
You play your first stadium. You can't tell me you're not nervous.
Oh yeah, I was super nervous.
How'd you get over it?
Well, I think I know for me, I have like little things that I have to say to myself, and so it's like totally just a thing now that it doesn't do anything, but mentally
It does
makes
it for
me
you,
feel
though.
like it's
Everyone's got
it's
their
like a
thing. That makes sense. Yeah.
But I know for me, I always sing through in my head the first verse and the chorus of whatever song we're opening with. If I don't do that, I feel like I'm going to forget a lyric or I'm not going to do it right.
You're not fully prepared.
But also, the biggest thing is that, and I learned this a long time ago, was that when you're opening up for somebody, like the band Perry or Little Big Town, these big artists who, you're a huge fan of, you have to just remember that, like, we're all just people doing a thing.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what settles. And I think for all of us, that's what settles our feelings when we're playing a big show like that. And we're trying to go out and put on the best show that we can. We just have to remember that, like, we're all just people doing this thing. They've just had a few more opportunities than we've had. They're on a higher level, than we are right now. Or they've been doing it for longer. Or, but at the end of the day, we're all just people.
Right.
We're all just people playing music and working really hard. And when you start to look at people as your peers rather than these people that are so much higher above you that you're, you couldn't possibly ever be as good as them, or how could you possibly be sharing a stage with them? You have to look around and go, well, we are sharing a stage with them. We are. So like we belong here and we feel good about belonging here, and we're just gonna work really hard. And those are my peers. They're my fellow musicians. And I think that's what settles that anxiety a little bit when we are playing those bigger shows. Yeah.
When you are playing those shows with like Little Big Town or the band Perry, do you get time to spend with them a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're your peers and they're not, not much different than you guys, but do they ever give you guys advice? Like, do they say like little tips like, don't, or whatever, do or don'ts or something like that? I don't know what they would say to you. I have no idea. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, once in a while. That has happened. We've gotten to hang out with a few different people, and and sometimes it's just nice stuff like, you did a great job. So the fact that they come over, I remember Kimberly from Little Big Town came over and like told me I did a great job. And for me, that was just a really big thing because she took the time to walk over to our trailer, come up to the door and say, hey, we heard you, and that was great. And she didn't have to do that. Yep. So the fact when people, take the time to tell us good job. I remember when we opened up for Matt Carney, so this was a while ago, his advice was, to just, he's like, you have to have your own voice. I remember him saying that. He was like, don't try to be like somebody else. You can definitely get inspiration and you can take points from people and go like, hey, that's a thing that they're doing that I want to get better at. So I'm going to learn from people who are better at it than I am. We do that a lot. But, at the end of the day, you've got to stand out because you've got to have your own voice and do your own thing. And I think Matt Carney said that and was like, because we were kind of talking about becoming back then, like we wanted to be a nationally touring band and do all this stuff and do a lot of stuff we're doing now, which is really cool. But he had said that. He was like, just stand out, be yourself. Don't try to be the next Carrie Underwood. Mm-hmm. Don't try to be the next Taylor Swift or the next this. Be the next Kari Lynch Band.
Right.
And take cues from people who are doing it the right way, but do it your way. You've got to be your own thing. Yeah, you got to have your own voice. And that was something I think that'll stick with me, saying you got to have your own voice. My grandpa told me that when I was really little too. So I think it's advice we're supposed to take.
Yeah, no kidding. If your grandpa said it, for sure.
That's right.
But that's really good advice, though, too. That's like very sound and very good advice coming from someone who knows. That's really cool.
Be inspired by people, but don't try to be exactly what they're doing because they're already doing it. There's already someone doing it.
And I'm really happy you guys took the time to come out and do this interview with me.
Dude,
thanks,
thank you for having us. It means a lot that you would have us back.
We got time for one more song, and this one's called Halfway.
Yeah.
But it's the end. It's the last song of the interview.
In the middle.
But it's called Halfway. It's
That
all
is
right.
confusing, I suppose, yeah.
Carrie, Travis, my goal for you after this today is to get the rest of your band on board to come do the show.
Heck
with
yeah,
us.
That
we're doing
sounds
it
We'll
next
get you
time.
back in, but
We'd
let's
love
check
it.
this out. One last song.
All right.
Kari Lynch Band. Here's Halfway.
Thanks. You've been saying that you're gonna leave, telling me I'm hard to please, acting like I'm asking for something everlasting, when honey, all I really need is for you to do what you say you're gonna do. Baby, for once, would you follow through? 'Cause if you're halfway out the door, thinking I'ma stop you now, what are you waiting for? 'Cause if you're gonna go, just go. And if you're gonna stay, just don't. 'Cause half of me still wants you and the other half can't wait to watch you go. And halfway don't work anymore. And now you're saying we should work this out, telling me to come sit down, acting like you really care. Honey, you don't understand. I already made up my mind, and I'm fine. 'Cause if you're halfway out the door, thinking I'ma stop you now, you go, and halfway don't work anymore. Oh, no more, no. Halfway don't work anymore. Don't work no more.
Once again, my guest this afternoon, the Kari Lynch Band, now from Nashville, originally from the Grand Rapids area.
Yeah.
Special thanks to Joe and Spencer for
guys
showing
for
up.
hanging out.
We're live at Music Town Detroit for the Homegrown Happy Hour every Tuesday at noon. It is free to check out. If you're a local artist and want to be on, send me an email, frankjrradio@gmail.com. And a special note, side note, if you're watching right now, 2:30 live at Music Town, Kale Dodds putting on a show. So if you're just sitting at home, come on down, check that out. And if not, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.